Taylor Swift with Cruel Summer. Welcome back. You're listening to The Country Viewpoint here on your colour of country life, Flow FM. It's time to take a look at a topic we haven't really investigated at all over the last year or so, and that is the closures that we're seeing across a lot of regional Australia with regards to historical pubs. And sadly, there was news recently that another one will be closing in Burra in South Australia. Of course, one of our listener towns here on Flow FM, and that is the Kooringa Hotel. And here to tell us more about that and the broader issue is Anthony King. Anthony, welcome to Flow FM. How are you?
Thank you. How are you going?
Not too bad at all. It's great to be with you now, Anthony. You made the post on Facebook, which got a hell of a lot of traction, informing people about this closure of what was a thriving historical pub. Unfortunately, it'll be Last Drinks soon, or it already has been Last Drinks. Tell us more about what the situation is right now with the Kooringa Hotel.
Yeah, Burra, being a very historic town, had the 5 hotels going well for quite some time. They all, until the mine closed, they all did really well. They were very popular with the locals and visitors. Always did good meals, and they all had a good reputation. This one closed a few years ago. I grew up in the hotel in my younger days, and mum and dad were the publicans there, and so it's a pretty sentimental place. It means a lot to us. I love the town itself. It's just the heritage it's got and all the history that's there. So it's a pretty interesting place, to be honest with you.
Yeah, no doubt about that. It's just massively sad to hear this, because you look at some of these hotels, they're all beautiful aesthetically, and it's sort of a throwback to that old Victorian era with many of them. And these are the heartbeats of the towns a lot of the time, Anthony. The local, everyone getting down there. So it is just so sad to hear that no one's prepared to come and be the white knight, I guess.
Yeah, there's not too many of them out there. It's just hard for publicans. It's just too hard with these economic climate the way it is. They're just incurring exorbitant costs left, right, and centre, especially with power and water and running a kitchen and trying to look after staff and pay them at a fair rate and stuff like that. And then the customers, the people that usually patronise and support, aren't really finding much money to sort of help with that. So there's not a lot of loose change going around in their pockets these days. So that's holding back a little bit. But it's just hard for the publicans. There's long days. It's 24/7 in a sense. So if it's not sort of busy, it can be quite negative. So, when it is busy, it's quite a positive thing, it's good energy. So, there's a lot of strugglers, a lot of publicans sort of hanging in there just on dire threads, and, some have closed their doors. What they do with their licence is another thing, we've been seeing a fair bit, like we just said, the hotel in Melrose closed down. That was one of my favourites, the Mount Remarkable Hotel. So, sad thing, there's a hotel down the road from Burra, Burra, another one, there's others as well. But, it's probably going to continue, unfortunately.
Well, hopefully not. That is Anthony King. He knows a thing or two about the regional historical hotels around the traps. We'll keep him on the line, and we'll talk more about this on the other side of this break. Back soon. Take that with this life, and welcome back. It is the Country Viewpoint on Flow FM. I've got Anthony King on the line. We're talking about pubs closing in regional Australia with storied histories. Now, Anthony, there's a lot of issues. Obviously, you've got cost of living, rising beer prices as well. What concerns me, though, is that, people shouldn't take this as some sort of trivial talking point, because I'm constantly seeing updates from big pubs and hotels in towns of a lot more than a couple of hundred. I'm talking towns of 1,000 plus, where we're getting memos that are coming out from the pub saying, sorry, patrons, we're closing at 12 o'clock on Friday, or we're not open on this day, et cetera, because of a lack of staff availability, because of reason this, that, and the other. So this might well be a domino effect now that we might see with a lot more pubs closing, and it just seems that times are so tight that we don't have that investment where people will come in and say, all right, well, this is certainly, a considerable watering hole for a lot of these people. We'll take it over and we'll get it back to its glory days or whatever. That sentiment just doesn't seem to be there, sadly.
Yeah, that's correct. It's just tough for them. They need to be fairly cashed up these days, and they depend on a lot of mules too these days to get that gets people in the doors and helps with everything. It's different expectations compared to a long time ago. There was a couple of beers on tap back in the 70s, and now there's a whole multitude of beers on tap with mainstream breweries, and so it's a lot more to running a hotel than it used to be. It's not as easy as it used to be. So it's one of those things. So, yeah.
What about COVID? Do you reckon that played a big role in this?
I think so. We're trying to recover around the place from COVID, and it's just hard to get going again. It did slow things down a bit. We saw that turning the corner again. We're just about recovering from and getting over the COVID situation, but then it reappears and we're all shut down again. So, and that sort of knocks the wind out of the sail a bit. So, that's playing an effect, I'm sure.
107-year-old pub in regional New South Wales was closed just a few months ago as well, if you can believe that. This was the Grenfell Railway Hotel in the central west of New South Wales. So there you go. Yep. I'm sure there's been, hundreds more cases probably of these historic pubs closing. Just going back to what are obviously some great memories for you of the Kooringa Hotel. Can you, do any come to mind in particular for you of patrons getting up to whatever it is that they got up to back in the day in the Kooringa Hotel?
The patrons, sure. We had a fairly busy bar a lot of the time. We had support from the footy club and the netballers and teachers, nurses, all that sort of stuff from around the town. And plus all the mining people that were living in the town. We used to see a lot. I mean, the price of beer was, a lot cheaper. We didn't have that sting with the excise back then either. So, it's been a huge change. And, you sort of look around the place, you drive around, you see a lot of hotels with not much support there.
In some good news in relation to this topic, you'll like this. We had news of this earlier this year. The Riverina pub, which closed after the Sydney Olympics. This is the Royal George Hotel in Urana, a very small community there in New South Wales. Someone's bought that and they're going to restore that back to its glory days. So some 23 years on now, /24 years even. So hopefully this gets a trend in the right kind of way going now, Anthony.
Yeah, no, that's good. I think people got to be open to that and let the fresh air in again. Give someone else an opportunity. Don't sort of hang in there and just go stale and go down with it. Just move on. Try and allow other people the opportunity. It's always a great thing when you get new blood in a pub. It just lets fresh air in. So I just wish some of the people would do the same. They sort of a lot of times they just hang in there and just shut the door, and people sort of get pretty sad around the place about it. So and then they don't really walk away. They just sort of live there a lot of times. So.
Yeah, we'll have to leave it there. Anthony King, he's from regional South Australia, talking about the closures of regional pubs with such storied histories. And we do remind all our listeners to drink responsibly, particularly over this festive period. Anthony, thanks so much for your time, and we'll speak to you again sometime down the line.
All right, cheers for that. Thank you.